So a few weeks ago, there was a bunch of new releases announced. Well, I should say like 2 or 3 of them to be exact. One of them was already released in Macy's across the country pretty much and in Europe. And I'm going to be reviewing that tomorrow. That is Paco Rabanne's Phantom Parfum. This one, the one that I'm going to be reviewing today, I had to pick it up from Europe. It took about a week to get in, but it's still not released in the United States. If you want to pick it up, I will put the link where I got this in the description. If it is still there, that is. But today we're going to be doing a review of a fragrance that I'm really excited about and another Elixir in 2023. This is by Hugo Boss. It is Boss Bottled Elixir. So without further ado, let's get it. What's going on, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud. You guys already know that. If you don't, make sure to subscribe to everybody else. Like, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Hit the bell, all that good stuff, so that we can get into this brand new release. Again, this one was released, announced about 2 weeks ago. And then, as always, they get released in Europe. And then after Europe, they get tossed to the rest of the world, usually in about a month or so. That part hasn't happened yet. You can find this on a few of the European websites, which, again, if it's still there at the time of me making this video and editing it, I will put the link in the description. But today we're going to be talking about a brand new release, one that could be either very hit or very miss. This is by Hugo Boss. It is Boss Bottled Elixir. So what I'm going to unbox it right now while I talk to you guys. But there's been a lot of Boss bottles. Obviously, they usually have about 2 releases a year. Sometimes they add in a summer, like limited edition. Last year it was limited edition Marine. This year it was limited edition Pacific. But they always have some limited editions. And then last year they also had the Parfum, and this year they had the Elixir. So usually sticking to those 2 a year, which a lot of other houses do that too, like Calvin Klein and whatnot. But this is the bottle. I got the 50 milliliter. This is the box. It's just your normal Boss bottled box. On the back, it has your 3 notes. I'm just going to read them off to you. Top notes are incense. Heart notes are vetiver, and base notes are cedarwood. I do remember there also being, it's not just incense. I believe it was frankincense. And then there was also cardamom in this as well. And I remember seeing a full note breakdown. I don't remember where, but I did post it on my channel. This is the bottle. Again, I got a 50 milliliter. It's just a Boss bottled. Kind of looks like Boss Bottled Oud. It has the kind of gold cap with the almost brown looking bottom. Kind of a nice bottle. I like it. I mean, it is nothing out of the ordinary, but we'll see. We're going to spray it on my arm. I'll wear it as my scent of the day. It's a colder day outside, so this should be okay. Huh. This is not what I expected. This is definitely much stronger than any Boss bottled that I have tried. Usually when you spray on a Boss bottled, you can already tell that it's going to be lighter. They're not as heavy, dense, resinous, pretty much any of that. This is very interesting. So whenever they say incense, kind of like with Boss bottled, when they say apple, they mean apple. With this one, when they say incense or frankincense, they definitely mean it. It legit smells like you're walking into some kind of 90s hookah lounge or incense parlor, mixed together with a little bit of this warm and spicy cardamom. There's a little bit of an ambery backbone to it, but for the most part, it is a lot of incense here in the opening. And when I say like a 90s incense parlor, yeah, it does have that vibe to it. This is not going to be for everybody, especially off the opening. But I actually very much enjoy this. Is it going to be a situational fragrance based on this opening? Yes. But as far as uniqueness, there is no other fragrances released in 2023 that have even close to the uniqueness of just this opening 5 seconds. But for the most part right now, it is warm, it is dense, it is a really nice heavy frankincense that is coming through here. It is really encapsulating the entire fragrance, mixed together with a little bit of this warm and spicy cardamom and a little touch of an ambery backbone. I feel like I already know where this fragrance is going. It feels like that incense at one point in time should dial down, and then you're going to get a little bit more of that warm and spiciness, and then you're going to get some amber. But I'm just going to obviously give you guys about a 30-minute break and then come back, let you guys know exactly what I get from it. But I'm just giving you my opinions on what I think it's going to be. But right now, it's nice. This is one of the most high quality. This is probably in my top 2 or 3 Boss bottles that have ever been released, just by uniqueness alone. It's a little bit harder to get your nose around. If you're not a more experienced nose, this might be a little bit more difficult. It definitely almost feels niche. With that said, I'm not going to keep sitting here beating around the bush. I'm going to put you guys on hold for about a half hour to 45 minutes. Let it dry down, see if we get into that warmer part that I was talking about, and then let you guys know my kind of first impression / half full review of the opening hour. So without further ado, I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we are back at the 1 hour mark of Boss Bottled Elixir. What do I think about it? So I usually wait about a half hour or so. This time I waited an hour because it took a while for that incense cardamom, frankincense cardamom, with a little undertone of amber to really dry down to where we were hitting the full stride of the fragrance. I do have to say, if you are somebody who does not like smoke, incense, frankincense, any of those style of notes, you're not going to like this fragrance, and you're probably not going to want to wear it because, again, for that first 30 to 40 minutes, it's really going to be mostly 90 to 80% that. It's just, do you want to wear until 40 minutes to get to where you actually really like it? I don't know. That's up to you. For me, I think it's definitely very situational. Again, if you're going to be wearing something for 30 to 40 minutes for it to then get into the full fragrance, it's going to be a situational fragrance if it's definitely mostly smoke. This is definitely what you would expect. Like I said, if you aren't my age, then you won't know what I'm talking about, but it's like if you go into an incense parlor back in the 90s where you have those trays of incense, it really does smell a lot like that, just mixed with a warm and spicy cardamom that kind of undertones the opening. And then you also do get, it's frankincense, so it has a deeper, more richer version of incense. That is really what you get for the opening part of the fragrance, with a slight little tone of amber underneath it, providing just a little bit more resins and sweetness. But that is the opening of the fragrance. If you want to know the opening 30 to 40 minutes, mostly incense, frankincense, with a little bit of a rich and deep background, and then that cardamom and a little bit of amber. That's pretty much it. It's a really nice opening, very unique. Is it something that I think most people will like? It's not very mass appealing. I don't think that this is going to be an opening that women are going to go, ooh, that smells great. I did ask my wife. She said, it smells like 90s incense. And I said, yeah, I agree. It's what it smells like. But then, after about 30 to 40 minutes, it's kind of in that 30 to 40 minute range. I couldn't really tell. I was outside working in the garden, and then I finally smelled it. So it's somewhere in that 30 to 40 minute range. It starts to change. And like I said in the opening part of the video, that incense does flow down and that amber does pull up. And then you get some woods coming in. It really is at that point in time is when just all of the notes start to blend very nicely together. It's no longer an incense bomb. It is no longer a cardamom and incense just mixture and that's it. It's more of, you get some incense undertoning the fragrance. It's no longer a smoky fragrance. It becomes more of a woods and amber fragrance. It still has that deep and rich texture to it, but it's more along the lines of just a sweet amber and woods. Not super sweet, just has a little minuscule sweetness. And then at that point in time, I know if anybody was looking for Boss Bottled Elixir, to have a little bit of Boss Bottled in here, if anything, that is where this starts to come in. Is around the 40 minute mark to an hour. There's a little bit of this richness from like the Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum Intense, where it has a little bit. It's not that apple or anything. It's just that kind of sweet and fruitiness that you know from the line. It just comes in very minuscule, if anything. but I wouldn't focus too much in on that. So again, opening, a lot of incense, cardamom, warm, spicy, a little bit of amber underneath. As we get 30 or 40 minutes into the fragrance, that amber pulls up. It's more rich, warm, addictive, sexy. You get a little bit of that woods coming in as the incense becomes more of an undertone mixed with that warm and spicy cardamom. It's just undertoning the fragrance as you more just have a rich amber and woods mixture. It's a very nice fragrance at that point in time. I think that the more mass appealing part of the fragrance is definitely the dry down when you get a little bit of that fruitiness in there. The opening is going to be a little bit more eclectic for the more niche style individuals. I think this is going to be a hit with fragrance community, but not all of it. I think it's going to be a big hit with the eclectic fragrance community. Outside of that, I'm really interested to see how this performs because as of right now, out of 1 hour, it is projecting so far off my skin that it is an elixir status. I was very, very concerned about that because we've had a parfum last year. Still didn't project or last very long. We had Eau de Parfums. None of them last. They all lasted in that Boss bottled range, like 4 to 6 hours, depending on which concentration it was. This one seems like it's going to be a full day. I mean, it's very rich, it's very warm, it's very heavy, it's very deep. And not only that, right now, projection is well above average. It's above like YEDP. It's not quite at Sauvage Elixir, but it's close. And I'm very happy about that. So again, rich, warm, deep, very incensey in the opening with a little bit of warm and spiciness. That warm and spiciness kind of just flows through the entire fragrance. It's just once you get to the dry down, you're substituting woods and amber for that very heavy and deep frankincense. I really like the frankincense from here, but you do have to like it. If you don't like frankincense, incense, smoke, anything like that, you're probably not going to like this. But with that said, I really enjoy it. I'm going to give the opening 1 hour of this fragrance probably an 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely a very unique version of any Boss line out there, and I think they did a really good job. Boss usually hits very well on like 1 out of every 3 or 4 fragrances, and I think this is that one. So very nice job, very well done. Let me know if you guys try it, what you think. And again, I'll be back with a full review once I get about 3 to 4 wears on this. I'm going to wear it today so that I can understand a little bit more about the fragrance. Do that as my scent of the day. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one. Peace out.